We're live.
Good evening. This is the Design Review Commission for the City of San Gabriel. This is our regular meeting. It is Monday, September 22nd, 2025. And I'm calling the meeting to order at 6:31. First item is our Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Chen, will you please lead us?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can we have our roll call, please?
Yes, Madam Chair. Commissioner Chang?
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner 2 is absent. Vice Chair Say-Lo is absent. Commissioner Lopez?
Present.
Thank you. Chair Romo?
Here.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Tonight's meeting is live streamed on Cable Channel 3 and on our online platforms. To prevent any overlap in comments, each commissioner will be called upon to speak. Item number 1, public comment. This is a time set aside for members of the public to address the Design Review Commission on items of interest that are not on the agenda, but are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Commission. Pursuant to the Brown Act, the Design Review Commission cannot answer any questions or take any action until such time as the matter may appear on an agenda in the future. If you'd like to address the Design Review Commission, please fill out a speaker card that is available on the back table. Once completed, kindly submit the card to the recording secretary. Speakers will be called to the podium one by one. Each speaker will be given up to 3 minutes to speak. Do we have any people who want to speak on public comment? This is on an item not on the agenda? Okay.
No public comment then at this time, Madam Chair.
All right. Thank you. Item number 2, consent calendar. All items listed under consent calendar are considered routine, and recommendations will be approved in one motion unless a member of the Design Review Commission or public requests separate discussion. Commissioner Cheng, do you have any items you want to pull on the consent calendar?
I have no issue. I don't need to pull it. No.
Thank you. Commissioner Lopez?
I have none, Chair, thank you.
Thank you. Damien, have we received any comments from the public?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So with that, if I can get a motion to approve the minutes from the August 25th Design Review Commission meeting, that'd be great.
I move to approve the item on the consent agenda, which is the minute from the August 25th, 2025 Design Review Commission meeting minutes.
Thank you. A second?
I second.
Thank you. Roll call?
Sure. Commissioner 2 and Vice Chair Say-Lo are absent, so Commissioner Chang,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes. Chair
Romo,
Yes.
3 A's, motion passes.
Thank you. Item number 3, public hearing. Sam or Christine, who's going to?
That would be me, Madam Chair, members of the commission. There is one public hearing item this evening. Copies of the agenda and the staff report are available on the city's website at www.sangabrielcity.com and also on the table that is by the entrance. As mentioned, if anyone wishes to speak on an item this evening and are not the project applicant, please complete a speaker card and submit it to Damien, the recording secretary, for this evening. Please write down the item number that you would like to speak on. Again, there's one item this evening, and speakers will be called up one by one to the podium during the public hearing portion of the item, and each speaker is given up to 3 minutes to speak. For the item this evening, staff will provide a summary of the staff report, followed by a follow-up presentation or comments from the applicant team, and then the public hearing will be open. And after the public comments, the applicant is provided the opportunity to respond to any of the comments if they choose, and prior to the close of the public hearing, the commission may ask questions of the applicant, staff, or the city architect. However, once the public hearing is closed, the opportunity for commenting has ended. And so with that, Madam Chair, staff is ready to present item A.
Thank you very much. Item A is 514 North Alahmar Street, planning case number SPR 24-038, site plan review. Applicant is Brian Chen. And Christine, you're going to give us our staff report.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. This is a site plan review request for an approval of a new two-story residence on a vacant lot. The item was previously heard by the commission on January 27th and July 28th of this year, and it was continued. The details of that would be discussed later in the presentation. The subject property is a landlocked vacant parcel located on the west side of Alahmar Street between Alhambra Road to the north and Hoffer Drive to the south. The lot is located behind another lot with the address 516 North Alahmar, which is located within the city of Alhambra. The project site is zoned R1 for single-family residence and has a general plan land use designation of low-density residential. This is a site plan of the proposed project. The project proposes 4,975 square feet of livable floor area with an attached 3-car garage. The project complies with all of the R1 development standards in terms of lot coverage, floor area ratio, building height, setbacks, as well as parking. This is the proposed rendering for the project. It is a 2-story contemporary architectural style. Previously, at the January 27th meeting, the project was first heard by the DRC and continued due to concerns with the overall design and need for additional exhibits. Those items were addressed and provided to staff, and at the meeting, at the July 28th meeting, the DRC continued the item once again because the applicant did not bring a physical color and material board for review. And additionally, the commission wanted to see footing details for the proposed fencing along the northern property line, I believe. And they also wanted to see the arborist report for tree protection guidelines. And those items have been provided tonight. The new 6-foot solid metal fence is proposed along the north property line, and it provides additional screening between the properties. The revised arborist report that was included in your packets tonight indicates the location of where the fencing will be installed, along with the tree protection guidelines during construction. In terms of landscaping, no protected trees are proposed for removal at this time. One new 36-inch box tree and various shrubs are to be planted in the front yard, and 24 existing coast live oak trees will be protected in place. The general plan land use designation for the site allows for single-family residential development in the R1 zone, and the proposed project would meet Community Design Goal 10.3 of the general plan. The project was reviewed for compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, and the project is exempt per guideline 15303, which is a Class 3 new construction exemption. The public notice was mailed to all property owners and tenants within a 300-foot radius. The notice was posted at the project site, and the agenda was posted at City Hall, the post office, and the public library. And it was also advertised in the San Gabriel Sun newspaper on September 11th, 2025. With that, staff recommends that the Design Review Commission adopt a resolution approving planning case number SPR 24-038 for assessor parcel number 5364025-007 to allow the construction of a new 2-story residence, subject to the recommended conditions of approval. And that concludes staff's presentation, and I'm available for questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Chen, do you have any questions for our staff?
Yes, I do have one. Maybe staff can answer. If not, we'll wait until the applicant comes up. On that letter that was on our table, which is from Mr. or Ms. Wei Cho, regarding that 5-foot tree protection zone for the oak tree, do you know what number of the tree that particular person is concerned with? Is that number? 12 or? 11 and 12. 11 and 12, okay. Thank you. That's all I need to know. We'll address that when we have the opportunity for the applicant and the arborist. Is the arborist here today? Yes, I'm here. Okay, that's fine. Very good. We'll wait until your turn. That's all I need to identify. Thank you. I don't have any further other question for the staff.
Thank you. Commissioner Lopez?
No questions, thank you.
Thank you. I have, we'll go to the public. Are you part of the development team? Okay, all right. Well, yes, thank you. I do have a question. I appreciate having the arborist report and the staff report. And it is my understanding that Class 1 trees are oak trees. However, they need to have, if it's large, if the circumference of the tree is larger than 30 inches, then they need a staff report. They need to file for a permit.
A tree permit, yes.
And then if it's less than 30 inches, they do not need to have a permit.
That's correct. To clarify, that would be only in the side and rear yards. If it was in the front yard, the minimum would be anything greater than 19 inches
Yes.
in circumference.
And I think the trees that we're talking about tonight are mostly the side yard on that north face, and then looking at the northeastern. I do have some concerns regarding the conditions of those trees. So that's something that I'll ask the arborist, but I wanted to make sure, because there are 5 oak trees that could be removed without a permit. So that's something that we definitely need to discuss tonight. Okay. And the applicant is here. Would you like to come up?
Members of the commission, thank you for having us again. We do have the team here with us. Robert, our architect, is subbing for Brian today. Howard, our landscape designer. Eric, our civil engineer, and we have the arborist, Javier. So if there's any questions, now is the time. I think we addressed most of the items that were outstanding from last time. The material board. As far as the additional questions right now, I would like to defer to our arborist. Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to share
No,
with us
no.
regarding the project? All right, we'll ask questions. I'll start with Commissioner Chen.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate all your effort to respond to our request. I think the section help, some of the clarification of the landscape plan help also for the committee to understand what your final proposed development. The neighbor's letter is something that brought to our concern, and at least mine, is talking to your arborist about those 2 particular oak trees. And I guess the neighbor is concerned about the 5-foot tree protection zone, that it is not sufficient. And if I may invite your arborist to come up and maybe have him address the protection plan, his involvement in during construction. The neighbor is concerned about what if this tree fall over or die, and what are the measures and what are the protections and mitigation measures to protect the public safety and or the preservation of the trees. So if I may have your arborist to come up. Is that Gabriel?
Hello, everybody. Good to see you again. So if the concern is
Do
the
you have a
fencing,
copy of the letter? Yeah, I'm sure you do, right? You-
I don't.
You don't?
But I heard what you said, if that was the.
Let's give you a copy, at least. I want you to address to the neighbor, point to point. It's really regarding the proposed 5-foot tree protection zone. How are you going to protect it? And they have small children, and they're concerned that the tree may fall over during construction. I'll let you read it while I'm speaking. And I guess it's the protection of the neighbors, protection of those trees, especially one is leaning towards them. And you're the expert, and we expect you to address it on record so we can assure the neighbor and the neighborhood that it is being well thought about.
Okay. So in my opinion, the 5-foot fencing is sufficient. The reason being that with those 5 feet, and because there's a chain link fence, there's no CMU wall, there's no barrier for the roots, that from the edge of the trees northward into the neighbor's yard, that represents more than 50% of the tree drip line. The 5 feet and the 5 feet of protection fencing, that would roughly represent about 60%. So the encroachment's about 40% total of the canopy of the trees. That said, there is room to increase the protection fencing south, so long as we allow for room for the 3-car garage and the actual house, so that the construction could actually take place, the excavations and the building of the house, framing and everything else that go after that. So yeah, there's I hear their concern. In my opinion, that's sufficient, but we could do more. If that helps the next door neighbors, we can find a way to do more, to come more than 5 feet south on both of those trees, and maybe add another 5 to 10 feet, which would make the encroachment into the canopy of the trees, much less.
So a total circumference of 10 feet, are you thinking of?
So 5 plus 5 or 8 feet more. So a total of 13 feet.
Total 13 feet, so adding 3
From the
foot.
north to the south, 13 feet, where allowable.
So you want to increase 3 additional foot on the protection. So the chain link fence, let me understand your protection plan. You go to the tree, you go to the center of the tree, and you're putting some chain link fence around it during construction, correct?
So we're going on both sides of those trees, and we're leaving room on either side of the tree, east and west, and then we were coming 5 feet from both of those trees, and then fencing it off at 5 feet. So now what I'm proposing is coming another 5 to 8 more feet, additional feet, wherever possible, wherever we're not gonna run into the wall of the garage or the wall of the home or prevent, construction, and add that as a protected fencing area. So I guess it would almost be,
So what is the total?
and Robert, it looks like that could be done, right? Because it looks like we have this landscaped area here. Oh, it's not 11 and 12? No. Because 11 is an oak tree, and 12 is a larger oak tree.
Sorry, whoever want to speak, please come up. I need your name for the record, please.
No.
But actually, a little later on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so right now, the audience can be quiet up.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I think, are you referring to L1? Are we looking at L1 right now? Sheet landscape plan 1? Because I want to understand, when you said you could do this, I want to make sure that the whole, every audience understand what are you proposing, and are we going to be able to make it work? When you said you would try to get it to the maximum, I need to know the actual protection plan. Are you just going to fence it up to the edge of the garage? And so,
Not up to the edge, because then we're leaving no room for the workers to perform the work of excavating and framing. So not to the garage, but as close as possible. That's why I said, right now it says 5 feet. That was the concern. So now I'm suggesting wherever we can, east of tree 11, west of tree 11 and east of tree 12, to come out instead of 5 feet, to come out 10 to possibly 13 feet. And if we can do more for tree number 10, then we can, we'll try.
and what is your involvement during construction? How are you going to be able to work with the construction crew to assure?
We've already agreed that I would do site monitoring on the, during construction, during any work under the protected trees, that I'll be present
Okay,
to help guide the contractors.
so that would be on today's record that the owner, once they agree to it, it will have to happen.
Yes.
I want to make sure the neighbors understand that. Okay. And just in the event, if one of the tree collapse or fall down or die, what would be the proper mitigation and protection for a replacement and/or other measures? What would you recommend?
Okay, so for tree number 11, it's an 11-inch diameter or 34-inch circumference tree. I think a couple of 36-inch box trees replacements would be adequate for that. For tree number 12, it's a 19-inch diameter, 59-inch circumference. Maybe 3 36-inch box, possibly 4 36-inch box trees of the same species, which would be coast live oak.
Right, but would that be in the same location or would it be,
It wouldn't, preferably not.
you would?
It possibly could be in the vicinity if that's what's agreed upon, but there's also room in the back
Okay. So,
along the property
so
line.
for the record, you would, if any one of these three dies, the 11-inch, you would replace it with two. Did you just say 30-inch box?
Yes, 36 inch.
36-inch box. If the 19-inch tree die, you would replace it with three 36-inch boxes,
Yes,
right?
3 or 4.
All right,
We could say 4 for the record.
okay. And to the location where it's appropriate.
To the location where it's appropriate and possibly maybe donated to the city if space becomes an issue.
Okay, all right. I think we will work with planning department on that, but I just wanted for the record so
Yeah,
that the
just as
neighbors.
another option, yeah.
Yeah, that we're not losing those trees. Okay. Did you see any other concern from the neighbor's letter that we need to address?
Okay, so again, in my opinion, there's 0 chance that those trees are going to fall over. But the other thing that could also be done is if they could be pruned a little bit away from the north side just to reduce the amount of canopy, balance it out a little bit more. But no, in terms of the amount of roots that are going to be affected, the total amount of roots from this project, so I suggested where I suggested the fencing, that would have been a 40% area that wasn't fenced of the drip line. Now, if by moving it over, it's probably between 20 and 30. So the total encroachment is not a lot in terms of construction and tree health during or after construction.
So if you're going to prune down some of the canopy, would you have any issue if you need to be there during the pruning, so at least it's pruned correctly?
I could also be there during the pruning, I'm
Right.
sure. Yeah.
And so that, and if there is any other measure that if you see the tree is in danger of falling over,
Yeah.
there are other measures that you can actually brace the tree.
I don't foresee having to do any other measures, which would be like cabling. One, because there's nothing to cable to. Bracing, because any bracing, they're so close to the property line. So what a brace is, it's a metal post that's dug into the ground 3 feet and poured concrete, and then it's packed up against the trunk of the tree to prop it. You know, to prevent it from falling over, from lost roots or from wind or whatever. I don't foresee that being necessary or possible.
Okay. Well, because we don't know during construction and
Yeah.
you're going to be there.
I'm going to be there, yeah, and, you know, like I said, I don't foresee, so on some of these trees, just for the record, I put condition as fair, poor, but that's not because of their health. In the back, it's because those trees were not part of a landscape design. They grew from saplings, more than likely, just based on their location, how close they are to each other. So the trees, they're healthy, but they have a poor branch structure. Some of them have the canopy completely on one side because they crowded and shaded each other. But aside from that, the root systems are good, the root systems are healthy. It's just they have a poor rating because of the branch structure and the unbalanced canopies.
Right.
So that plays a part in terms of resisting being able to survive excavation. In other words, as arborists, when we look at a tree, we look at a lot of things. We look at its current condition. Is it healthy? Is it not too healthy? We look at past encroachments. Is it on the property line, and did the neighbor already build a pool 3 feet away from the trunk on their side? Things like that. You know, we look at the big picture, and then and that's how we arrive at our conclusion. So for these trees, they seem like they've been fairly unencroached thus far. So the encroachment on the proposed construction site right now is minimal to moderate, but the trees are expected to survive in their existing health, condition, and safety. And even any root loss that's going to be suffered during this construction is not going to impact the stability of the tree,
Okay.
even if it wasn't trimmed.
Well, we're going to hold.
In my opinion, as an arborist, yeah.
I understand. We're going to hold that opinion of yours as a licensed arborist.
Absolutely.
And we're going to have it on the record. So we're not going to challenge your opinion, but we're going to hold that opinion on the record that you will do the site visit, you will take whatever pruning is necessary, and you need to be there, so make sure that it's pruned correctly so that it's not because of the sun, the crowding, all of that. And you would also be responsible if in the event if the tree is losing its stability, and whatever measure need to be done, including bracing it, that you would recommend it, and the
So as
owner.
long as the homeowner agrees to hire me to do that, yes, you know, because I am working for the homeowner, so I need compensation to do that. If he agrees for me to be there present during pruning and during the excavation that I mentioned, I'll gladly be there. That's what I do.
I understand, but it would be the added condition as the approval, for the approval, with that added condition. So if they don't agree to the added condition, then they would have to either hire you or somebody qualified.
I'll write up
to
a
do it.
contract and he can sign it and it could be part of the submittal.
That's fine. So I just want to make sure that the neighbors' concerns are fully addressed.
Yeah, so in terms of the health of the trees, the safety of the trees, the stability of the trees not being impacted, I don't feel that they're going to be impacted. And like I said, you know, I think I told you guys last time, I've been doing this for 30-plus years, done hundreds, you know, of reports, monitored thousands of trees, and never lost a single tree. So I have extensive experience in this, and I bring it to the job site, and that's what I do.
Well, thank you, I appreciate that, and I don't have any more questions for the arborist.
Great,
Thank you. You can.
For anyone else on the team?
I guess the only question for the architect on the material board, maybe just to
We'll take
So you-
time now.
Before I step down, if I still have time, I would like to mention, because it's probably gonna come up, the metal fence on the north property line. So the metal fence, I believe, was a concern also about the health of the trees. So you probably rarely see a metal fence on a side property line. You usually see a concrete block wall or a wood fence. So the desire initially was probably to put a concrete block wall, which would have required an 18 by 24 deep foundation for that wall. So just the fact alone that the homeowner is suggesting not to do that and to put a metal fence that's just gonna, as opposed to impacting the entire plane of the trees, is now gonna be set on posts, probably 8 to 10 feet apart, as far away from the trunk as possible. So that takes the impact of that property line screen or fence or whatever you wanna call it, from what would have been severe to practically zero impact almost.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was going to ask the architect, but if you feel you are qualified and have the information, what size footing are you thinking of doing at the post? That's why I want to ask.
Do we have a size footing? Usually it's 18 by like 24.
24
For a
square?
post, for a metal fence or a wood fence.
So 24 inches
Deep,
around?
By 18 inches wide. It could be round, it could be square, whatever the engineer draws it up into his
I
specs.
see. So basically, you will stay away from the root system. You will span the fencing away from any,
As much as possible, and then I could be present at the time so that if we do, at the time of excavating the post, we run into a large root, then we could move it over.
Correct.
To where there is no root, and that would go a long way too. So again, that would be written up in the contract, so to monitor the fence, the excavation for the structures, and the trimming of the tree if needed.
okay? Thank you. That will be part of the condition also. Thank you. Any other question for him? For me, I'm satisfied with the arborist answer.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Do you have any questions for the arborist?
I do. Let me, you're stating here where it says, for example, tree number 11, that it's in poor condition. You're saying that it's really not in poor condition, but it's only because it's like twisted or grew kind of sideways?
Well, this particular.
Is that your statement?
This particular tree is girdled by the chain link fence. What that means is the chain link fence was there and leaning on the tree, so now the tree has eaten up a part of the fence. It's grown into the tree. So that's what I put about that girdled by chain link fence and unbalanced canopy. Those were my comments.
Okay, so,
And I put poor condition, yeah, because that affects the more so the girdled by chain link fence, the girdling of the tree.
okay, all right, so then, okay, so that's why you put it as poor condition. I'm kind of confused as to your statement saying you put poor condition because of these situations, and that's why it's poor.
Correct.
However, you're saying on the other hand, it's really not poor, but you put poor because of those
No,
conditions.
on this
I'm
tree-
kind of unclear, which is it? Is
On
it,
this particular tree, I put poor because of that. When I mentioned the health of other trees, I was talking about other trees that are more to the east side, not so much that one. There's a whole bunch of trees that are fair, poor, number 19 through 28. You'll see that those have fair to poor to good condition, but a lot of them have fair and poor condition. Those are the ones I was referring to at that time, not so much that tree. Those aren't girdled by a chain link fence.
all right.
So imagine you had a chain link fence attached to your waist.
No, I
you wouldn't be doing that good.
understand what you're saying.
No, I just want to make sure you understand. That's why I said that.
I understand. I think you're not answering the question, or I'm not asking it correctly.
Okay.
We're talking about, in extension to my fellow commissioner, which number trees are we talking about this letter from the neighbor?
Well, you were talking about right now tree number 11, right?
I believe that's what you guys were talking about, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, 11 and 12.
Correct.
Those are the trees that I've been addressing, yeah,
Oh,
this
okay.
whole time.
All right, so. In your previous statements, you said that you put, they're in poor condition. The-
12 is in good
Let me
condition.
pose my question a different way. What I don't want to happen is that, for whatever reason, the tree falls, okay? Hopefully, nobody got hurt, okay? And we go back to here, and you say, well, I put poor condition on it, so, you know, it's like buyer beware. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, no. I mean, I'm not going to change the condition that I put it because, you know, because you're saying that. I mean, it's in poor
No,
condition in my
not me
opinion,
saying it, it's
based on that.
you who said that, it's not
It
me.
sounds like you're asking me to change the condition that I put on the tree.
No,
from poor
what
to
I'm,
something
what I'm,
else.
what I'm
And I
telling
just
you,
explained to
what I'm
you-
telling you is, wait a minute. What I'm telling you is that if you put poor condition on here, but in your verbal statement, you're saying, well, it's not really all that bad. It's not really, it's not really in poor condition. Well, it's not me saying it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to clarify, well, which is
I
it?
expect
Is
it
it
to
poor
survive in
or
its
is it
existing
not?
condition, even though it's in poor condition. It's going to survive in the condition that it is right now, despite the construction.
All right.
With
I-
the chain,
I
with the
just want,
gir-
I want to state that
with
I'm
the
not
girdle
comfortable
chain
with
link
that
fence,
answer,
because I
but
can't change
each
I can't
commissioner,
change that at this point. That happened
wait.
years ago.
Okay,
don't argue with me.
one at a time. These meetings are recorded, and when people are speaking at the same time, it's very difficult for
Sure.
people who are listening online or watching it online.
Okay.
So one at a time.
Okay.
So your statement is that you will not change the condition on paper, but your belief is that it's in good condition for survival.
No, it's in poor condition based on the girdling of the chain link fence. You can't ignore that. I can't ignore that as an arborist. A doctor couldn't ignore a human being coming in with a chain hanging off of his waist embedded in his stomach.
Well, let me,
That's it, we're not talking about a human being, we're talking about a tree.
let me extend on that. So you showed up to the doctor and you're girded, and the doctor says, well, you know, you're in poor condition because of this, and traditionally, perhaps the statement would be the 40% survival rate, 30%, 90%, whatever that number would be. Then the doctor turns around and says, but I expect you to survive. Now, would you say that that is a medically sound statement?
What I'm saying is that this tree is not a human. You know, I use that as just something for you to help you out because you're having a hard time with this. So I'm saying that this tree is going to survive in its existing condition regardless of the construction.
Sir,
The
I'm not
construction
having a
project
hard
is
time
not to
with,
blame.
I'm not having a hard time with scenario you're posing. I'm following up on the scenarios you are posing
Exactly.
and what I'm trying to
At the end
tell
of the
you.
day, I'm
Sir,
telling you
please
that
let
this
me
tree's
speak.
going to survive in its existing
Please
condition.
let me
Okay,
speak.
one person.
What I'm trying to tell you is that, to me, your statement does not make a lot of sense. Now, let's move on. That's on
To
record.
me, it does, it's just for the record.
Any other questions?
Yes.
You-
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So you've stated that you have not a written contract yet.
I had a written contract to do the report, yeah,
But we're talking about the supervision, you being there, supervising the trimming, supervising the placement of the concrete pads and things like that. That's what we've been discussing here, correct?
Correct.
You stated you don't have a written contract for that.
I saw
If I can answer that, if you don't mind. So basically, what we're going to do tonight, if we approve this project, we will put conditions on it. And then it's up to the applicant to have this arborist or another arborist. But what we need to try to do is to look at what type of conditions we want to add in addition to what we have here in the packet in front of us.
Thank you, Chairman. I understand that. I'm trying to get clarification as to, in my view, trying to picture this as to the gentleman saying that traditionally they're 12 by 24 or 18 by 24, the concrete pads in which the fencing is going to go on. I didn't hear the engineer come up and say, yeah, those are going to be it, nor do I see it in the plan. So I'm trying to clarify what's that going to be for. He may say it's 18 by 24, and we may say it's 18 by 24, but that's just a case scenario that there's a different arborist, and he says, no, that I think they should be 8 by 8. The engineer has not answered.
Well, right now, our
No,
line of questioning is to the arborist.
I know. So he's speaking
And I'm sure you
on.
guys are gonna address that and draw it in, right, before the size of the
Sir,
footing?
please don't interrupt.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so I'm sure of that.
Don't interrupt, please. So I'm just trying to get a clarification as to what's going to happen and procedures if this moves forward, what conditions exactly would come into play. This neighbor here is not just concerned about aesthetics, they're also concerned about safety issues with the children as well. So to me, that's very important, and as it is, I'm sure, to the rest of this commission, to make sure that that we did everything within our power to assure not only aesthetic, it's compliant, but also safety-wise. So, yeah, those are my questions to the gentleman. Now, if I may, I speak to the engineer.
Actually,
So can I
answer his question?
I have a
Yeah.
question.
So
but-
that's what we've been addressing here this whole time, that I've been
Sir,
talking.
sir,
Don't,
you
Bob,
have-
don't interrupt me, please.
Sir, you have not been
Don't interrupt
addressed.
me.
Okay, wait.
Don't
No,
interrupt me. We've been
Wait.
addressing that this whole time.
Wait, so I was going to,
The gentleman
him-
doesn't want me to interrupt him, and now he's interrupting me.
Sir?
no,
Nobody asked you a question.
I was, actually, his question was kind of redundant because that's something that we talked about and then we had
And then
clarification.
he asked about the contract too,
So-
this is the first time I see this letter.
That's okay.
I'll write up the contract.
It's
That's not a problem.
Sir,
It's the first
I
time,
think you're out of line.
you
I
know,
think you're out of line, sir.
but let's have cooler heads here.
I'm super cool. I'm
Okay.
happy.
I-
Nobody brings me
no,
down.
I think we're going to have to
I've been
call
trying,
the.
I've been
Wait.
trying to be professional about, but he seems like he has a personal something
Sorry,
with me for some
sir,
reason.
sir, I think the question from Commissioner Lopez is whether or not you've already been retained to do further work for the project. So, the response to that is,
Yeah.
are you retained?
No, I haven't.
Which is not yet,
I will
yes.
submit the proposal
Yes,
and they'll
it's-
sign it.
We're
and
right,
they
we're
can-
not at that point
And
yet,
they
it's
can
just.
put it as a part of
yes.
the next submittal, is
Yes,
my signed
Sir,
contract.
arguing with the
I said that earlier.
commissioners, arguing with the commissioners does not help your case nor
I'm
your
not
client's
arguing with you,
case.
sir. I'm just trying to
Okay.
clarify the questions that you're asking me. That's all I'm trying to do.
Okay.
I yield to you, Commissioner.
Thank you. So I do have a question on two trees. Tree number 4, which is the silver dollar gum, that is in poor condition because of it's been severely toppled and it's covered with ivy.
Yes.
So mitigation to try to retain that tree healthy. And then I'm also concerned about tree number 11, which is also, we've talked about that tonight because it's girdled by a chain link fence and it also has an unbalanced canopy. So what do you recommend for mitigation measures on those two trees?
So at this point, I would remove any section that hasn't been girdled to a certain point so that it doesn't get further girdled. And, and prune the canopy. Prune the canopy away from the neighbor's house a little bit to balance it out a little bit.
So that's for tree number 11.
That's for tree number 11. For tree number 4, that one would have to be retrained, repruned by a professional trimmer that's not going to top it, that's going to try to restore a natural canopy to it without continuing to top it the way it's been topped in the past.
Yeah.
Because it got done one time and then it's continued ongoing. It's been ongoing for years that it's been getting topped in the same place. So someone, a professional has to get in there and establish branches, which branches could make a healthy canopy, and take other branches out and try to restore that.
And do you think that is the best approach for that tree? And it would
could
be,
survive many years in that condition. That said, a topping cut like the one it has is severe because it's big, you know, and trees have a hard time callousing or healing or closing over a big wound.
yeah.
But it could survive for many years, well-maintained, properly trimmed.
The pictures right now, they're not that clear. And unfortunately, this is all on private land, so, you know, you can't drive by and see what the conditions are. But you do have tree number 21, the Mexican elderberry, that was definitely topped. And it has spiky roots coming out. And I think, since I wasn't able to see tree number 4 clearly to see the conditions on that, is it similar to tree number 21? The
No,
Mexican,
Tree number 21 has also been topped.
Yes.
But on top of that, it has multiple cavities in the trunk. So it has a lot of holes in the trunk, injuries that never healed and have decayed into the wood.
so that tree is listed as poor condition.
Yes.
And it is on that, kind of that corner you were talking about, that northeast corner. There's a whole group of trees there that are in poor condition. The Mexican elderberry is one of those trees in that area. And so, you know, when we're looking at that northern property line, that's where it abuts the San Gabriel residence. And so what we need to try to figure out is how to buffer the two properties. And if we have trees, and I think the applicant has been talking about how big the tree canopy is, but if the trees need to be trimmed, if the trees are in poor condition, then we're going to lose some of that canopy. And I think, you know, we want to preserve trees, but I appreciate your candor with your arborist report, because it talks about that, the Mexican elderberry. You list why. And you also list 2 trees that are dying. And so I think we need to look at, you know, what's going to happen with those 2 trees, but those are on the opposite side, the 2 that are dying, that's tree 31 and tree 29. So when we look at trying to preserve trees, keep trees as healthy as possible, I'm glad you have the landscape architect here, because maybe some of these trees, especially number 4, which is in front of the property, is that the best place for your front of the house? Is it better to put newer trees there that will have something, more of a canopy, be a healthier tree to accent the front of the house? Is that, this is for the applicant, I'm going to ask you this in a little bit, but is that metal fence that's only 6 foot tall enough to buffer, or should there be more landscaping there, something that's going to be compatible with those oak trees? And actually, I'm not a landscape architect, but there is a resource online called Oak Tree Companions, and it talks about plants that work well with oak trees. So your landscape plan is good. I think you protect that south border with your hedges, and because of the trees on the north, it was kind of said, okay, we'll just preserve those trees. But while you're preserving those trees, do you have enough canopy along that northern edge of good, healthy trees that will enhance your property and buffer that with the property next door? I live in a one-story house. My neighbors to the north have a two-story house. I was talking to them today. I said, your house, without any landscaping, buffering, would not be approved in today's times. Maybe 36 years ago, it was approved, but things are a little tougher now. And I think because not only do we have interested people here in a letter, but we also want to protect our San Gabriel neighborhoods. So with landscaping, it's a way to try to buffer. So when we're looking at that northern boundary and there's issues, we have a lot of complaints right now from the neighbors to the north. And I think if we're successful tonight, we're going to come up with things to mitigate all of this. And if we're not successful and we approve, your neighbors to the north are going to be really upset. But our best job is to figure out how it could be a win-win for both entities. You have your rights as a to develop the property, but we need to look at how we could make this palatable and how we can make something beautiful, how we can retain those trees. So I gave you time to think.
Yeah, and
But
that's what I've been
definitely.
suggesting. That's, the expanded protection measures, the trimming of the trees, that was a good question that you raised about the chain link fence. What can we do? Yeah, we can cut it away from the tree and maybe cut another couple of feet on both sides, just to make sure it doesn't have to grow any more of that fence. And the tree's going to survive in its current condition. It's going to grow. Hopefully we do trim it and balance the canopy out a little bit, but those trees are all going to survive this project. And if not, then if the committee feels that it's not the best plan, then maybe we should. There's also an option of removing them, I'm sure, particularly the oak that has the girdled fence. If the committee feels that the commission feels that it's not going to make it, or not a healthy tree, or not a good idea, it could be removed and replaced. Likewise with the eucalyptus tree.
Two questions. If you trim back the chain link fence, I'm thinking if you have children or other people that get too close to the fence, years from now, could they cut themselves on a chain link fence?
No. So imagine that this pencils the tree and the chain link fence is on the tree, and they cut the chain link fence flush with the tree, so there's nothing sticking out.
Okay.
And on both sides. And then on the sides that they cut, they put a post right there and wrap that section around the post so that there is no pointy end sticking out that could hurt somebody. I mean, that I'm sure that would be easily solvable. So keep it so it's not a hazard for people, yeah.
And
I've done that before too, yeah.
Yeah, and tree number 11, it has that circumference of 34 inches, so it meets that protective Class 1 tree, and it currently has a spread of 24 feet. So that's something, I don't know if we want to remove it. I'm more concerned about that silver dollar gum tree, it is poor and it is the front of the house, how that will all work. If there's not a safety concern, I think when the applicant comes back up or we have questions for the landscape architect, we can talk about both tree 4 and number 11 and the other cluster of trees on that northeast, how to mitigate those. You say that those are salvageable. However, the neighbors in that area need that canopy protection, and that's what the applicant has been talking about.
So are you talking about the area, I'm sorry, that doesn't have any construction around it, the very east side?
Correct.
None of those trees are in danger of falling onto the neighbor to the north property?
No.
Not
But-
even the Mexican elderberry?
No, but they are listed as poor condition. And in reading the staff report, I read this without your audio. And in reading, and you read that there's trees that are in poor condition, and then I said, okay, where are these trees? So I took time, and I marked, I have my little fair, poor, dying, they're all listed here, so I can visually be prepared for this meeting. And so when I see a cluster of trees like this in poor condition, and I know these neighbors have issues with the trees, so you have this cluster here, you have the one in front, and you have tree number 11. So I think when you put all of that together, I think that's something that we need to discuss here and figure out how to mitigate that. You talked about trimming the trees to get them healthier. We've talked about different things. You might want to, and we might need to add more conditions.
Yeah, we could do a pruning plan also, yeah, for any trees
You know.
that could overhang onto the neighbor's property. But if I recollect right, all the trees that are not too healthy, first of all, there's no landscaping or construction in that area. So as arborists, we look at the high probability of a target being present, during, if a tree would fail. And that area would constitute a low probability of a target, a person being there or vehicles or something,
Yeah.
because it's a slope. All those
Yeah.
trees are on the slope already,
Right.
every single one of them. So we look at that. And, but yeah, we could go back and I could do a pruning plan for all the trees that are fair to poor condition. If necessary, I could make pruning recommendations, along with the pruning recommendations to reduce the canopies on the north neighbor's side of the house, yeah.
Okay. That may be conditions that we put on this project because, it's a little tricky on several matters. So I think those are all the questions I have for you. I'm going to go back to Commissioner Chen so we can move on with our other comments.
Thank you, Chair. I think we have some very important discussion. Understanding that this particular lot has a very unique situation with the number of trees. Some are healthy, some are not. So the pruning recommendation, the trimming, the increased protection area, all of those are important. I'm going to be asking the owner or the owner's representative later to come up to assure the neighbors and the city that they understand these added conditions, regardless of contractual relationship with them. If they accept those additional conditions, it will be the contract between them and the city and the neighborhood. So it's up to them how to enforce that and deliver that. So I'm sure you understand, as a licensed arborist, you understand why this is important, because we want to preserve as much as we can and prune out the dead trunks and the leaves and all of that to make it a beautiful project.
Yeah.
Because with the addition of the house, the existing landscaping need to be preserved. the additional landscaping proposed by the landscape architect need to enhance the entire project. And usually that is, I would also want to talk to the landscape architect if they're here. So I guess I don't have any further question for you for now.
Okay.
But you understand what our concerns are.
Absolutely, yes.
And we're gonna make that part of the additional condition. I'll make sure the owner will work with either you or someone else qualified to deliver that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Have a seat.
And some trees, that I would normally recommend for removal in another location, I know the cities, all cities like to preserve as many trees as possible. That's where a lot of these trees are being planted.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So if I may, Chair, maybe I can talk to the landscape architect and then the architect on the footing size that
Yes.
Commissioner.
I also have questions for the landscape architect. Do you have
So
questions?
please step forward, give us your
Yes.
name.
Okay.
Commissioners, my name is Howard Fang. I'm the landscape designer for the project.
Okay. So Howard,
Yes, sir.
I understand that based on your landscape proposal, you are adding additional new plants, shrubbery, and to enhance the development.
Yes.
We're going to want to hold you responsible also as a landscape designer.
Sure.
To be, to see to your proposed plan got implemented at the end of the project.
Okay.
All right. I want you to work with the arborists also.
Yes.
To make sure that during that pruning, the relocation and all of that would work with your landscape proposal at the end.
Okay.
Because they may be proposing some trees that are unhealthy.
Yes.
To be either eliminated
Yes.
or replaced.
Yes.
Or pruned to the point that they may not survive, or relocated altogether to your new landscape plan.
Okay.
So I want to make sure that you are responsible to
Yes.
to see to that is being done correctly.
It will be incorporated. Anything,
right.
when we remove a tree, then we need to incorporate new trees, introduce whatever caliber size it's going to be on the
All right.
design, landscape design.
Yeah, okay, as long as you understand your obligation, your responsibility, it's on the record.
Okay.
All right, so Chair, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Lopez?
I think my fellow commissioner addressed kind of the questions I had, and I appreciate your answer, sir.
Okay.
And no more questions, thank you.
Not yet.
Sir?
The Chair has a question
I
for you.
actually have questions.
Sorry about that. Yes, ma'am.
So, tree number 4
Okay.
is a tree that is in front of the house. So, for the family that's going to be there,
Right.
that's kind of the gateway. It is listed in poor condition.
Okay.
So with your,
We're talking about the silver dollar gum.
yes.
Okay.
With, have you seen images of the tree?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes,
So is that an acceptable tree to have in front of your house? Do you recommend doing something else to beautify that?
If
If this was your house?
we're to, if it's my house, honestly, I would remove it.
Okay. And then what would you put in its place?
I wouldn't put anything because the width of that planting space is not enough for any trees. We have the driveway next to it, and then it's very narrow.
So
We,
I got that.
Yeah.
So what would you put to protect the neighbors on the other side?
I will put a row of tall hedges.
So
Along those areas.
a tall hedge.
Yeah.
And because they're sitting behind you and they're probably listening.
Yes.
But I think what we want is a win-win here.
Okay.
We want something beautiful and we
Okay.
want something that's going to buffer.
Okay.
And so a tall hedge.
This is what I have
I know.
at my home.
I know.
I have podocarpus at home. These
Oh.
things, podocarpus. So these are very, when you buy them, I have 15 gallons planted on my house. When it arrives, it's about my height. So that's 3 years ago. So now it's 15 feet.
Yeah.
And I have it on drip irrigation. And it's a very vertical, columnar type of shrub, and it will cover the fence. And eventually it's going to grow taller. It's going to provide a canopy.
Yeah. So how many of those would you recommend?
I don't have a ruler right now, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I will take where we have the sliding gate, and I will probably plant about, let's say 15 of those, remove the whatever design I have and go all the way to where the 23-inch Coast Live Oak is at. So we'll take out the silver dollar gum, and along that space, I would plant 15 podocarpus,
Okay.
15 gallon.
And,
They're about, on computer, I would space them out about 3 to 4 feet apart on center.
okay.
Yeah.
And then would tree number 11,
So 11,
that's the one with the chain link fence.
chain link fence. I apologize, on my plan, I didn't number the tree number.
I know.
for-
Tree number 11 is right before that big tree that's closer to the house.
Closer to the house. Oh, that one, okay, it's right there. Okay, that one, yes. If we were to take
Yes.
if we were to take it out, to remove it, then I will continue the podocarpus through that space all the way down until it hits another protection, oak tree protection zone. So in that area, probably another 5, 6 podocarpus.
Okay.
If we can't, to remove all these oak trees, the only solution I have is to,
We're not going to remove all the
we're
oak
not going to
trees.
remove it, okay.
No.
Then that means we need to plant them in containers.
Yeah,
We cannot dig in the ground and plant them in there.
yeah,
We have to irrigate it too.
Yeah.
So Javier can jump into this, the biology sides of it, because you need to irrigate it. And sometimes the irrigation, it will cause rot
yeah.
to the root.
So I'm hearing what you're saying.
Yeah.
And what I'm thinking is maybe we don't specify a specific hedge. So
Okay.
you can work that out with the arborist and
Sure.
make sure our landscape architect from the city can review.
Sure.
But I do think something like a hedge is important.
Yes.
Especially where these trees that are in poor conditions are, that a tree in front of your house that
Right.
has been lopped off.
Right.
And isn't in good health, another tree that has a chain link fence. So we also have 2 trees that, do you still have the arborist little map there?
Yes.
So when you look at the south, it's 31 and 29.
31,
Those
29,
those trees are dying.
31, and 29. Okay.
So that's something that we know, those trees are dying.
Okay.
So if they're dying, I don't think they can be resurrected.
Right.
Is there something that you would recommend to be put there?
Same species, Coast Live Oak.
Okay,
Yeah, I wouldn't plant anything, any other trees. It's just a similar space, similar species, and similar soil conditions, and,
okay.
yeah.
I appreciate your help. Thank you. Any more questions for the landscape architect? Okay. Commissioner Chen, you said you also had questions regarding the design.
Yeah, one more is on the fencing. No, not for you. Is the designer or the engineer. I know that you have not gone to the final design structurally yet, but since we still on the yard, landscaping, fencing, and all of that, I just want to clarify one thing. The spacing of this fence that you're proposing with a post and a footing, have you looked into the possible size of the footing, how far they need to space, and if there is a conflict with the root system of some existing trees, how do you protect that measure?
Okay, let me speak. My name is Robert Tom. On behalf of the Brian Chen. He has a family medical emergency situation, so I'm here, answer the question I have for the architecture portion. And regarding the metal fence, I know there is not continuous footing. It's going to be the pure footing, but exactly size have to determine from the structure engineer. So if the footing, if conventional footing, if too wide, now we might have to do the narrow footing but go deep. That's really, that could be work with the arborist recommendation and with the structure engineer. Because this is a solid wall, actually the metal wall, so that have also take the wind load. That's not just, I can say, it's going to be 18 by 18, wherever. So that has to be engineered. So we're not the engineer today, structure engineer not here to answer, yeah. But
So-
we can work with, yeah.
Sure. No, so the condition is that we will make sure that whatever footing you put in, it has to meet the structural integrity, the depth, the wind load, all of that. Now, on top of that, if it conflicts with the root system of the trees that are existing or proposed, I want to make sure your structural engineer and the arborist and the landscape architect work together to resolve that, including even bridging the footing, whatever it takes to get it done so that it's structurally sound and it's not hurting the root system. So that will be one of the conditions.
Make sure the structure engineer will design the fence
Correct.
and the footing.
One of the requirements that the structure engineer need to design the footing with the landscaping
yeah.
and tree system, footing system in mind on the root system,
Yeah, with the landscape, with the arborist.
with the arborist and the landscape architect.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Yes,
All right?
yes.
So I just want to make sure they understand that. I don't have any further question for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any question for me?
Commissioner Lopez, I don't have any questions either.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You had questions for the architect as well?
No, I think is the owner here?
The owner's here, yes.
Yeah.
Commissioner?
Okay, just want to wrap it up.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that all discussions that you heard are to be added conditions for the approval if we got enough vote to approve your project. And I want to make sure that whatever it takes, that you need to work with your arborist, your landscape designer, your structural engineer, and the designer, the whole team, to make sure that what was being said and as an additional conditions are to be adhered to 100%, so that the neighbors would not have more concerns of your development. You need to understand that that will be required as the condition of approval. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Yes, well, yeah. So we will read out the list of the added conditions. I just want to ask you overall, do you understand why this discussion, why we want to make sure? Because we want to make sure your development will be done when the neighbors will be proud of it and they're not going to be upset because they written some concern to
Yes,
us.
of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here are the ones that I have jotted down, and I'm looking at the commissioners and staff to let me know, and we'll have public comment as well, so we might add more conditions after hearing from your neighbors. So what we have thus far is increase the tree protection plan area to around 10 to 13 feet instead of the 5 feet where possible. Then looking at if a tree dies in this process during construction, you're going to be replacing those trees with an applicable replacement for smaller trees. We're looking at 2 36-inch box trees. For a larger tree, for example, 12, we're talking 4 36-inch box trees. We want the trees to be pruned prior to construction, and the arborist is to be present. Looking at tree number 11, looking at
12.
that very carefully, looking at possibly removing the tree and planting 5 to 6 hedges, and that's tree number 11 is one with the chain link fence. For tree number 4, replacing that with 15 plants with the tall hedge to be determined in working with your landscape architect and the city landscape architect. We want trees 15 to 21 pruned and take mitigation measures to improve the health of those trees. Trees 29 and 31, which are listed as dying, we want those replaced with new coast live oak trees. And then looking at the metal fence, that we need to have that engineered for structural integrity and also the integrity of the root system of the trees. So I think the other thing that I didn't mention is with the hedge plants that, working with some type of a hedge that will be compatible with the oak trees and something that will have the same type of water usage, so the oak trees aren't watered in abundance, and that might compromise their health. So we want something that's going to be compatible.
And this is, can you repeat this last one?
What I just said right now?
Yeah.
So whatever hedges are selected, it's a hedge that will have the same type of water need like the oak trees that are there along that northern fence line. So you don't overwater the oak trees,
Okay.
okay? Did I miss any points?
The last thing is that I have is the structural engineer will investigate the footing size of
Okay,
the fence.
thank you.
That's only the last one I have.
All right. Did I miss anything, Commissioner Lopez?
One thing that I may add is you're going to have a group of people working on this thing, on these things in conjunction. Perhaps, and this is just a recommendation, something along the lines to have a point of contact for the neighbors to have if they, for example, if they see something or, something along those lines, so that they have some sort of venue by which they can either lodge a dissatisfactory note or something along those lines. That way, they're not trying to talk to this guy at the same time or tell this guy or something, just a point of contact.
Okay. I'm going to look at staff. Are there best practices on that for contact?
I think
neighbors.
sometimes there's like
I'm-
project posters on the. Oh, go
Chair,
ahead, sorry.
if I may, Chair. I found it, have other cities and other projects work very efficiently is to make sure that they put in a small sign in the front with a contact person. If there's any issue at all, that they see that they need to talk to that person, just call that number, somebody needs to answer that call, address the concern, and that person need to take care of the matter. And if there is any issue, then they can contact the planning department. So that, I found it to be very effective. City of San Marino requires that now, that the construction sign will have a point of contact. That could be anything, could be trash, working hours, could be potential danger, and they can call and get to the right person, and then they can get to the city.
Okay.
That should satisfy
That'd be
your
another-
recommendation. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So at this time, if there's no other questions for the applicant, I would like to hear from the neighbors who are here. And we're going to open the public hearing at 7:51. Anyone who would like to speak on this matter, so opening the public hearing at 7:51, anyone who would like to speak on this matter, please present a speaker card to our recording secretary, Damian. And I'm going to ask our commissioners. We normally read letters that aren't, people aren't here, but we have received one letter at the start of the meeting. We did discuss this at length. Do you still think we need to read this for public record? If not, then we will.
I think the record reflects that we addressed to that
Yes.
letter that is written to us.
Yes.
If there's a new material, I think we can go ahead and listen to the new material.
Okay, thank you. Then, so the letter from Wei-Ling Xiao,
And Li Chao, yeah.
Wei-Ling Xiao is already part of the public record and will not be read, and we will now hear from our first speaker.
First speaker is Mr. Stuart White.
Hi,
Thank you.
I'd like to first address, there's been a lot of discussion about oak number 11 and girdling. That oak is not girdled, the one that is going through the chain link. I routinely cut that chain link fence around it. I worked with the previous property owner, and we cut that routinely. So it is not girdled. You can go up there and you can actually press that chain link fence and it moves away. It's not buried inside that oak tree. And I've done that periodically just because it is getting girdled to save that. I've given out some photos I'd like you to take a look at. On the left-hand side, the left-hand photo shows a picture of me standing with a pole, and it points out 26 feet next to that oak tree. That's about the height of the subject property that's getting built. Also, our lot to the north, we're about 12 feet lower than that, and now there's going to be introduced a building that's about 26 feet high. It's going to tower over us. Another thing that was brought up or mentioned that neighbors can hardly even see that or will see that. If you look at those photos, you can clearly see through those oaks. You can see sky. It was brought up that you cannot see the palm tree that's in the middle of that property. You can look at that picture and you see the palm tree sitting there. We see it. We see it from our breakfast nook. And that is our view. We've enjoyed that view. We get sunlight. We see the sky through there. And we're very concerned. We're concerned with the size of the project. We brought up that the residents within the 300 feet, they're San Gabriel residents, the average square footage is under 2,000 feet. This is 2.5 times the size of the average residence. We'd be happy to see a single-family home. Our big concern is the 2 stories. It towers over us, and that is our main objection. We do want to see those trees maintained as much as possible. We get real concerned about that, but oak number 11, or subject number 11 that's been brought up, I think that tree is healthy. And like I said, we've ungirdled that thing as we've worked on it. So, you know, for years. We've lived there 29 years, and we've grown up with that tree growing through there. So we admire it. We enjoy that tree. Our big objection, once again, is the height of the structure. And we will see nothing but the structure. We can see through those oak trees, as you can plainly see. We see the sky, we see the sunlight. All we're going to see, and I think that house is 94 feet long, that's all we're going to see is house. And yes, the oak tree will help buffer that a little bit, but really not that much. And particularly if they prune that a little bit more, the house wouldn't be more visible to us at that point. But that's our concerns. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other speakers?
Miss Ann White would like to speak next.
The, Mr. Tissau's letter that that is in the record, those were referencing trees 9 and 10, not 11 and 12. 11 and 12 are the oak trees that abut our property, but the 2 oak trees and the one that has a severe lean on it is oak tree number 10. And that is along the row with the, I think it was a blue gum, something that had been severely topped. This tree number 10 is covered with ivy, and it has a severe lean. So I just wanted to correct that part of it.
If I may ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
In the arborist report, tree number 11 is the one that is stated that is covered with ivy. So are you saying that there's 2 trees?
Tree
Yes,
number
okay,
10
you're right.
Yeah,
It
tree
says-
number 10 and, or 9 and 10.
So, yes, looking at 10, it's in fair condition, but it does say severe lean and unbalanced canopy covered in ivy.
Yes.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you.
That's
Thank
the
you.
one that he's concerned falling into his yard. Given the proposed driveway falls within the tree protection zone, where no cutting or raising of the grade is permitted, I think the arborist has addressed that he would be present during all tree trimming. However, that driveway is going to be right on those oak tree roots, at least how it looks from the plan. So that is one of the concerns for oak trees 9 and 10. The proposed solid metal fence may affect the foliage currently supported by the existing chain link fence. Could this fence block sunlight from the south side, potentially causing the foliage to die from insufficient light? Right now, the chain link fence is covered in foliage. 4 oak trees, each exceeding 60 feet in height, are located on the slope where riprap was planned. Those are oak trees number 30, 32, 35, and 36. I'm wondering why there is no specific protection outlined for those root systems, which could be vulnerable in a disturbance from the installation of riprap.
I just want to let you know it's been 3 minutes.
Okay. I will give her another minute because I did interrupt her, so please continue.
Thank you. I'll hurry. Unlike other homes on Alahmar where gutter water is typically directed to the street for discharge into a gutter system, why is this project not following the same standard drainage approach? What is the plan for managing the drainage water after it interacts with the proposed riprap? How will the adjoining property be protected from flood water or the surcharge placed on the channel wall? Should the ivy on trees 4 and 10 be removed to improve their health and vitality? And would this contribute to better overall tree health? A large Chinese elm on the slope, that's tree number 4, requires yearly trimming, and we pay to trim someone else's. Okay. Would it, if it was removed, would it help for the health of all the other trees
Okay.
in the area? I'm
Thank
done.
you. Thank you. Thank you for your comments. I believe we have another speaker.
Apologize, I didn't read this on my way in. I didn't submit something beforehand. So my name is Doug Sarbaum, and I live at the corner of Alahmar and Alhambra Road at 520 North Alahmar Street in the city of Alhambra. And I'm not here about the trees or to stop anyone from building. But I did have a few questions. The first question is the driveway. Is the driveway going to be going to Alahmar Street in the city of Alhambra? And the reason I ask that is because the 516 Alahmar, they already have a circular driveway. So is there going to be like another driveway approach, or are they going to kind of take off of that? And the address, what's the address? Is it San Gabriel or Alhambra? And I have that concern for first responders because we're Alahmar Street, Alahmar Terrace is north of Alhambra Road. So if somebody calls in from Alahmar Street in San Gabriel, that might cause some confusion. Along with utilities, is this going to be Alhambra Water and Sewer? Have we talked to them? Because, you know, we just got our street paved 2 months ago, and usually there's a moratorium on not digging up the street for 5 years. So I tried calling Alhambra late this afternoon, and I didn't get much luck. And the other concern is if it's San Gabriel, as far as the trash pickup, are we going to have trash trucks for Alhambra on Monday? And then, because our neighbors to the north in San Gabriel have trash pickup on Tuesday. So are we going to have the Alhambra trucks coming by Monday? And then Tuesday, when it's street sweeping, are we going to have the San Gabriel trash trucks picking up? That's pretty much my only concern. And I apologize for not writing in earlier. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you so much. Any other comments? Do you have a speaker card? Say, do you have one here? If not,
Jesus.
we have one here.
There's also some at the podium within
Oh,
the.
that's the podium as well.
Thank you.
I just wanted to, oh, thank you. I just wanted to say about the two-story house. In the report, I noticed that they're citing there's 62-story houses within the general area, but I just wanted to remind you guys that those houses are all on the same level with each other. This house is going to be higher than the properties to the north of it. That was it. I think I wasn't sure, I know that Ann just mentioned it, but I think there's some confusion in the record. Some people have stated that they thought that these lots to the north were level with the lot that they want to build on. Thank you. Is that good? Just my name is okay? Sure.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay. It is now 8:03, and the time for public comment is now closed, and we will deliberate amongst ourselves and talk about this project. We haven't heard from Ron.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I actually have no comments. Thank you.
That was easy. So we'll go with Raymond.
Thank you. I think Ron has worked on it for so long that he has all the answers so far. Let me thank the applicant for cooperating with our concerns, and I particularly want to thank the neighbors that are so diligent on understanding the arborist report, doing what they could. As I said before, each property owner has the right to enjoy their property, and for this particular property, the property owner has the right to enjoy it. They have the right to develop it, and they have worked every possible way with this full team and trying to address everything we have talked about. So we just want to make sure that all those were said tonight, including from Mrs. White, the neighbors next door, on identifying the correct tree. I would also want to make sure that landscape architect and the arborist will work with the neighbors so that there is any further concern, including tree number 35 and 36 that is on the slope that are being preserved and protected. So all of those added conditions or protection measures are being addressed. I think we're going to have a development that is suitable for the neighborhood and everything is being addressed. I just want to make sure that the property owner understand all of the obligation and fulfill all their added conditions of approval. So with that said, I'm prepared to approve the project with all the additional condition made.
Thank you. Before I go to Commissioner Lopez, I want to see about addressing the questions regarding the utilities and emergency. Yeah, those questions. Do we know how that's going to occur? You please let us know.
Thank you for the question, Chair. I actually spoke with the City of Alhambra staff, and they confirmed that utilities would be serviced by the City of San Gabriel, whereas emergency services will likely be provided by Alhambra.
So the trash, that's a utility, right? So it would be collected on possibly a different day than the trash collection in Alhambra on that street.
That is my understanding.
Okay. Can the applicant request a certain date?
Ooh, they would have to reach out to Waste Management regarding that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just think it would be easier, since the applicant has other houses that are in Alhambra on that property, to have all of the homes on that lot have trash collection on the same day, because it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense to have essentially one area with trash. Oh, these two houses on one day, this one on a different day.
The service provider is separate from city staff and city hall, but the property owner can reach out to the provider to see if that's an option.
Yeah, I do think that makes a lot of sense, and those questions were going on in my head. You know, how does this work? You know, the trash, the emergency services, especially trash. Trash is on a weekly basis. So
Yes, this is a very unusual and unique boundary line, jurisdiction boundary line situation. And so the city can, or the property owner can reach out to the providers to see if they can coordinate something.
All right. And just, well, since we're talking about those, Christine, will you show him the site plan so he sees where the driveway is going to be on the project? All right, thank you. Commissioner Lopez, or Sam, do you have anything else? Okay, Commissioner Lopez?
Thank you. I thank the applicant for coming through and bringing everybody on board and trying to clear out some of these questions and issues. I do want to clarify that where we were looking at putting the hedges, I believe, is that where 3, 4, 9, and 10 are?
So the hedges would be where tree 4 is?
4, 9, and 10.
So right now, we're leaving that.
I know, but
Yeah.
potentially it could be those hedges, right?
That we want
Yeah.
some type of hedges at the front, and then with other trees. And I think what we heard tonight is that tree 11 with the chain link fence, thank you very much, is healthy.
And not girded,
So,
yeah.
and they've been taking care of it. So if we can keep a tree, so much better.
Which
but-
brings me to my next question.
But definitely, I think that infill with hedges is important.
Yeah.
Yes, next question.
No, well, more than anything, it's a comment, because if we're looking at 15-foot hedges or 20-foot hedges, but their view is perhaps, from what I could tell, is about a 29-foot, it would be about a 20-foot difference between that flag, where the flag was to the top of the canopy. So would a hedge be tall enough and strong enough to stand that, that height if the tree were not to survive and replaced by hedges?
So hedges come in different sizes and growth rates, and I don't think anyone of us up here is qualified to try to figure that out.
No.
But if we do want.
It's just what I'm posing.
Yeah,
is
but
that it
for
may not.
example, an Italian cypress
Correct.
grow, they live for over 100 years, and
So
they're
will
tall.
that be an option
So,
instead of the hedge, as we're kind of leaving it open as to something there, correct?
so I think we do want hedges, we do want extra protection, and that type of hedge, it could be a cypress, it could be several other things. There were 3 pages of potential hedges.
Right.
But I think we want something with minimum of around 15 feet that's going to grow at least 15 feet. With our municipal regulations, you can't build a wall.
Yeah.
That, protect, but.
Point taken, but, so I just want to make sure that they have that option and to be able to work with neighbors as to say, well, that's probably not going to grow tall enough, or, it'll be tall enough, and at the same time addressing some of the issues about the tree falling over, if it gets replaced by something else, that those neighbors are also comfortable that it's getting replaced by something that's, that's sturdy in the sense that it's not going to fall over on their property as well. So those are my things. So if we leave it open to the extent where the neighbors not necessarily can impose a liking, but have an opinion as to, what maybe they can, through the point of contact or something, if those trees don't survive.
Well, so you're saying if the oak trees don't survive, replace them with a hedge?
Well, no, that's what I'm asking. So exactly at which point are we ending the hedge, or, because I think with the switching of the trees with the healthy ones, that's us to the unhealthy ones.
So I think right now, what we've talked about is tree number 4. And that's the first tree-ish, the property line at the north end.
Correct.
So that's the one that is not in good, doesn't have a good structure because it's been topped off several times. So that is at the front of the house, and looking at putting a hedge there. Tree number 9 is in good condition. Tree number 10 is in fair condition. Tree number 11 is listed as poor. However, we heard from the neighbor that it's in good condition. So those, if we change out trees 9 and 10, we're not going to get that canopy that they have currently and the height with whatever hedge.
Correct, and I think that was part of their concern.
So, what we're looking at right now is before construction, having trees trimmed so they maximize their health, and also looking at the hedges at the beginning, not touching the trees unless they need to be removed, but definitely deal with the trees 31 and 29 that are listed as dying and replace those 2 trees.
Correct, okay. Then another thing is, I wish the owner could have taken the extra step of showing something behind the tree where the houses would actually be in the height so that the neighbors could get an idea of that, because they're under the impression that there's going to be a monolith in front of them and they're going to be they're going to see the structure, and maybe it's not the case. Maybe it would look really nice. I mean, yeah, maybe you could see part of the house, but not necessarily, what we're thinking or the neighbors are thinking. So that could still happen, in part of the prior to the construction or something, just at least with utilizing maybe the same flag the neighbor has, but bringing it in to where the corners of the house are gonna be so that they get a kind of like a view, oh yeah, it's not gonna be too bad, or something along those.
That was our recommendation after the July meeting.
Correct.
It was a recommendation, not a condition.
No, I
So-
understand. I
so,
wish,
yeah,
I wish
but it-
the owner would have done that,
So-
just kind of to ease more on the neighbors and their anxiety about how it's gonna look.
Yeah.
That is all, because we want everyone to be happy. We want everyone to be comfortable with what's gonna happen, and that way it would diffuse a lot more issues or down the line as to whether it's being placed here or there or something along those lines. That's my sense.
Okay. Do you have any other conditions that you'd like to?
I do not know.
Okay, thank you. For staff, do you want me to repeat all the potential conditions?
No, they've been captured in the minutes, Madam Chair.
All right. Thank you, thank you. I definitely want to thank everyone who has come out tonight, both on the development team and the neighbors, both in Alhambra and in San Gabriel. As Commissioner Chen was saying, we're trying to make this project better because we heard your voice. And that's the process here in San Gabriel. And we've learned a lot tonight. I've learned from the neighbors. I was very concerned about the chain link fence on the tree. I feel better hearing from you, and the tree's your neighbor. I know my neighbor likes my lemon tree. And they say, don't trim this part of the lemon tree. I like those branches, and we're good neighbors. That's why I was able to tell my neighbor, your house wouldn't pass today's mustard. But ultimately, I think our goal was trying to get something good out and constructed, and something that's going to be compatible with the landscaping. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on what side of the pendulum you are on, the project does meet city requirements as far as height, FAR, distance, all of that is met. So even though it's bigger than the normal house, a lot bigger than my house, but the lot is a lot bigger than my lot. And so that's how the planning is done, depending on the size of the lot, that you're given leeway. So for this lot, because it's very large, they can build a larger house. If it was a lot that's my size, it would not be built at all. And I think that's something that we have to be cognizant of. So what we're trying to do here is not necessarily cut the baby in half, but actually figure out the things that we can do to buffer. So buffer their project from your neighborhood, and it's going to be privacy both ways. You don't want your neighbors looking at your house, looking into your bedroom, and those types of things. So providing those buffers, the tree canopy, the hedges, those are the types of things that we're looking at. So, commissioners, how do you want to handle this?
I think I can go ahead and make a motion for approval, but I do encourage the design team and the development team work with your immediate neighbors to listen to their concern and try to work it so that we can have a perfect development at the end, that everybody's happy. So with that said, I would like to move to approve planning case number SPR 24-038, site plan review per staff recommendation of the conditions included with all conditions discussed during this meeting as added conditions that the owner had agreed to work with those conditions, and city staff has those conditions already on the minutes and on the recorded discussion. So that would be part of the condition of approval.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Tu and Vice Chair Salo are absent. Commissioner Chang,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes.
Chair Romo,
Yes.
3 Ayes, motion passes.
Thank you very much. We now go to comments from planning manager.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair and members of the commission. We are 2 weeks away from the city's annual Dumpling and Beer Festival, which will take place on Friday, October 3rd, between 6 and 10 p.m. in the Mission District, and this is on Mission Drive between Broadway and Mission Road. This is the city's 10th year anniversary for this event. It's marked by new branding colors and designs represented in the vibrant orange and purple colors that are displayed right now with the streetlight banners and also street banners on Las Tunas and San Gabriel Boulevard. There's no charge to attend the event. Food is purchased directly from the food vendors and the food truck. And beer tasting tickets can be purchased online. In fact, staff encourages online purchasing through Eventbrite. There will be a limited number sold the day of, but it is very limited. There will be a live band in a kids and family area with face painting, balloons, inflatable games, and a photo booth. So it is a family event, along with the beer garden for San Gabriel's take on Oktoberfest. And this concludes staff's comments.
Thank you. Commissioner comments. Commissioner Chang, you have any comments?
I don't have any.
Commissioner Lopez?
No comments, thank you.
I don't have any comments either. So with that, I adjourn the meeting at 8:23 to our next regular meeting on Monday, October 27th, 2025 at 6:30 here at City Hall, 425 South Mission Drive, second floor, council chambers. Thank you.